Hey, how's it going, everyone? This is Pete Wichert from the Truth is Stranger Than Fiction, and I'd just like to thank everyone for your emails, your thoughts, your wishes, your prayers. It meant a lot to me, but to be honest with you, I have to say right now that, unfortunately, I was only there for 2 days. I took a shot in the dark on when based off a source on when I believe that they were going to release the verdict. And to be honest with you, I had talked to a lot more people than my footage shows. A lot of people did not want to be on camera. And the people there, man, I feel sorry for them. I really, really do. See, I must have interviewed 75 people. And I'm not exaggerating. I'm guessing about 75 people. And each and every single one of these 75 people all said the same thing, that the police force is predominantly white and that there's a thing called affirmative action, which there is, and whether you agree with it or not, it's a law. And also that it's a historical issue there in Ferguson. This has been going on for a while, and that you get harassed to go get groceries. That they're preparing us for a police state, and they're preparing the people of Ferguson for a police state. On the way up, I saw armored vehicles. I mean, I saw more cops, more police officers than regular civilian cars once I got to Ferguson. There was one protester who you'll see on the video I have a picture of, is sticking up for Officer Wilson. One person. And Joe Biggs and Jakari went over to the other protest in favor of Mike Brown. And maybe 30, 40, 50 people that day. Tops, I think closer to 40, Joe and said. Joe Biggs from Infowars.com. Again, I'd like to thank him and Jakari Jackson. It's awesome meeting you guys if you're watching this. But the cops outnumbered the people. That is never necessary. In a free country, we're going to have more cops than we're going to have civilians. That's when we know, people, that there's something wrong with us as a society, as a civilization, as a culture, because they just want to, the people in Ferguson just want their lives back. They just want to have a peaceful weekend like you guys are probably going to have. But they can't, because the geography in Ferguson basically surrounds them. So they are surrounded by the Mississippi River. Goes, and they could just block off one end. And they block off, the police block off one end. The people of Ferguson are trapped. A lot of the buildings, as you've seen in my videos, are destroyed. Some are closed. So how do they get food? I mean, just think about the necessities of life that are being restricted when they went into martial law. And when this does happen, and Wilson gets, you're gonna see the cops escalating this, because the people there, regardless of what happened at this point now, they don't really care if Mike Brown had a gun. No one should get gunned down like that. You cannot, as a cop, be judge, jury, and executioner. Just can't happen. Okay, and that's why we had a great country, because the legal system, the courts, and what happened to that? When is execution called for? And not only called for, it seems used routinely now by police. So I think Ferguson points out a microcosm, a bigger issue in society. It points out the fact that, like Jesse Ventura says, we like to give up our freedoms for security. And You know, as the founding father said, those willing to do that deserve neither. Those willing to give up their freedom for security don't deserve either or. And that's the truth. And the people in Ferguson, they don't need no security. They were peaceful. And I'm going to be honest with you right now. Average person on the street in Ferguson was each guy, lady I interviewed, on off air, was a better person, a nicer person than most people I meet here in Chicago. And I'm sorry to offend someone from Chicago, but I'm trying to make a point. The point is, through all the crap they're going through, here's this white kid that shows up, and I'm listening on the radio, okay, and trying to hear any information. I hear, if you're white, don't go in this area, and I wasn't very familiar with the area, so I didn't know exactly if I was headed near there or what, and I didn't give a crap. And sure enough, I ended up right near those two streets. You know what I did? I left my car running, I walked around, and I tried to talk to every person there. You know why? Because I care. Yeah, I saw in these small business owners' eyes the devastation done to them. Their whole life gone because they couldn't afford insurance, a lot of them. And the bigger corporate, stores, they may even have made money out of this. I'm not saying that they wanted it to happen, but that they didn't lose everything like a great deal of people, a great amount of people did. And I mean, I can't say enough about the resiliency, the strength of the people of Ferguson. And it was a pleasure meeting everyone out there that I did. And I really learned a lot out there. I learned that, you take a 5 hour ride, however long it was, by yourself out to a place because you think, that police state is there. You're trying to help people. And that whole ride, I'm thinking, man, what if this is it? What if this is the Civil War right here? And I got there and it was so peaceful. The only people driving around like maniacs were the police. The only people that didn't release everything right away were the police. If Mike Brown did have a gun, okay, if he did, why didn't he use it to rob 7-Eleven? Why didn't they come out the footage? I mean, just show the footage. Officer Wilson would have been in the clear from day one. So something ain't right. I'm not mad at the police department there. As a matter of fact, they let me park in the parking lot. I had an overall good experience with everyone. But my point is, there's an inequality there. There's only about 30% white. There's 30% white police officers, whereas, or African American or black officers, whereas there's the rest of 70% roughly is white. And historically, you're in a very racially tense area, I guess is the way to put it. And it's similar to, not far from here in Chicago, we had Cabrini Green, and they had housing projects there. And there's, similar to Chicago. It reminds me a lot of Chicago, a diverse group of people getting along, getting together. And it was beautiful to see. Now, why do you need more tanks than you have protesters? What kind of message is that sending? These are good people. They're showing stuff on Fox News from the right after the day that Mike Brown passed away. I mean, my God, the propaganda machine is in full effect, people. Do you not see it? Tell me you do not. Because they said that I shouldn't go anywhere near anyone around this street to this street. I walked up and down, left my car running, and people said, don't, I shouldn't, you shouldn't leave your car running. Every person talks, some on air, some off air, and every person said the same thing. The police came in our neighborhood pointing guns, escalating things. Now they got armored vehicles. They're going to have guns. They did, just recently, the report I have up on The Truth is Stranger Than Fiction YouTube page, you can find that Pete Wichert, that's my official page on YouTube, Jakari and Joe Biggs doing the report. It's a state of emergency. Like, they made a great point. Who's in charge? Obama? Said that I feel great. Well, we have a drone attack? No, is it FEMA? Is it who is it? I'd like to know. I challenge somebody out there, and the military, somebody out there, and it's former military. Tell me who has jurisdiction there, and isn't it just the Ferguson Police Department? And who the hell? What's the pecking order? And who the hell's in charge? I'd like those questions answered. Because what I saw was abuse of power. I saw intimidation. They even tried pulling that with me when they see me interviewing people. They drove around the block about 5 times, giving me dirty looks. Well, guess what? It only made me try to interview more people. I was having camera problems as well as many other problems driving down there. It was not a good luck day for me, but I still went there, and in my heart, I feel great about what I did. Number one, the people there were so excited to speak with me. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm from Chicago. I get along with every race. I know I say it a lot. There's a lot of people that say it, and then they'll criticize me or something. But yet they say they, get along with every race. No, I really do. I went to public grade school, and diverse, private high school. Never have had stereotypes on anyone for anything. I always knew the person I was inside and some of my actions and how they made me look. So at times, I know not to judge someone and especially a whole race of people on some preconceived false notion. It's that simple. So we have to get over that, because these people are great people, and they're being pushed and pushed, whether they're white, black, Hispanic, anything. It's sad. And why? I'm gonna have to announce this now, but like I said, I got the parking lot there. I talked to, let's just say, district attorney. They're gonna it's gonna happen Friday. It's gonna happen Friday after Thanksgiving. And I just pray that the community holds together, that they stand strong. And I encourage people with the concealed carry to strap up, go out on the streets and protect your community's infrastructure. Because everyone I spoke with said the people that were doing the looting were not even from Ferguson. Protect your community. And police, don't fire the first shot. Please don't fire the first shot. Please do not kill another 2, 3, 4 people. Please do not use a weapon that's banned in warfare against United States citizens. Please. Because you don't realize that they want you dead too. They want the Civil War to wipe out the military, to wipe out the police, to wipe out people like me that are willing to go down, put my neck on the line, do whatever it takes to help people. We're the enemies. the Alex Joneses of the world, the Joe Biggs, the Jakari Jacksons, Seth Davis, people that may have made mistakes. No one's perfect. Hell, I've made plenty. But when at the end of the day, I'm a changed person from when I was younger, and everyone needs to gradually grow. But I gradually grew and realized that there's so many bigger issues, and then I started, becoming an activist and actually having an impact on these issues. Well, people, we need to be activists. We need to demand that they withdraw, because I'm talking. This was military there. These guys were either fresh off of tours or active military, and that's sad because these people in Ferguson did nothing, and the geography allows them to be locked in without food, without water, maybe. You know, it's not the most wealthy neighborhood. They can't stock up. They don't know when it's going to even happen. The police do not even have the decency to give out a damn date. So how can they prepare that far in advance? They might have been preparing for 2 weeks already. MyPatriotSupply.com would go bankrupt. Or not bankrupt, would be sold out if you listen to the news. And I encourage you not to listen to the news because I was there. There was no Fox, there was no CBS, there was nothing. Yet there's sitting here in New York, telling you that there's racial tension. And yeah, there's other reports, and you know what? Maybe there were a few incidents. Really wouldn't shock me. And the reason that wouldn't shock me is because they're egging it on. They're instigating the situation. And everyone has to vent their anger, I guess. The police do it by picking on the civilians. The civilians do it by, I guess, apparently beating up white people, which, again, I did not see any of that. And I think that is just made up to get the police pissed, to stir off the fight again. Because I'm telling you right now, most humble, nice, generous people. I would live in Ferguson if it wasn't for this. I would buy a house. It's that type of community. It's a good place. So it makes me sick. Not far from my house here in Chicago. Not far. Similar kind of neighborhoods too. That there's literally like one event that could trigger a civil war between police and a community, an entire community. And that's scary, people. That's scary. And that's why they want the guns. And the reason I say bring the guns is I think the tattoo shops and the stats speak for themselves. Every shop that was protected by, the right to bear arms and had security out, or the owners with their assault rifles, their pistols, whatever it was. Guess what? The looters were moving on. And I don't think we're going to see that this time because the community knows now. I think you might see more fights in the community though, because there's to be people getting rid of the looters, doing the cops' jobs for them. That's my opinion. That's what I really think. That's how fed up the people of Ferguson are with this joke police state that they're forced to live in. They're just like you and I. They deserve to be able to go get whatever food they want, leave their town. Hell, they have them trapped in there, just waiting to trigger the riots. And then the business is closed, no one comes back in, and who gets hurt? The people of Ferguson economically. The business owners who have insurance really don't lose out. Those in Ferguson without insurance do. And imagine just complete destruction. Who's going to want to come back? There's going to be a lot of people moving. What do you think that does to businesses? Yeah, it makes me sick because to me this is like this is sabotage. It's siege warfare. That's really what it is. I don't know what they may be because of the Mississippi River. I don't know if there's a military base there, but for some reason something's telling me that they want to trigger a major event there because of the strategic importance of the area. Because why else did they pick Ferguson, do drills a year prior to this happening? Just out of nowhere? They picked Ferguson? No, there has to be something. I think it's pretty much how there's only one way in and one way out. Was this the FEMA camp? And I told a lot of people there about rap artist K Reno, and you know, criticize me if you want for preaching the word, but you know, I know Alex Jones tends to disagree, but there are some good people in rap, and K Reno's one. And if you're listening to this and you're an InfoWars fan, I try to reach out and get call Alex, email him, try to get K Reno, because that guy is a genius. And I told that from he wrote the song "House of the Enemy." It's titled "House of the Enemy," and it's about Ferguson. And I think it hits the nail on the head. And he alludes to the fact that he believes that it's almost like a test-ish but real FEMA camp. And most of his music, Grand Deception, all his songs are great. You know, they're just great. And for everyone looking for the next Tupac, or looking for a talented rapper who's talking about things, who's going against drugs, he doesn't smoke, he doesn't drink, that's K Reno. Nobody could touch him. He dissed Eminem, and Eminem hasn't said nothing bad. And then you can't shut that guy up if you try. So he's afraid. So my point being, this guy's so talented, but he speaks about the New World Order, the Federal Reserve, the Bushes, and being linked to the Nazis, and you name it. Alex Jones talked about it. He raps about it. He's very well educated. So I was promoting K Reno out there a lot because there's the ending of the song goes, we must soon unify, or soon we must unify, or we'll pretty much be sure to die. That's probably not exactly how it goes. Like I said, it's been a long day. And yesterday, and with the drive, and my mom's going for surgery actually tomorrow, and I had to take her today early to the doctor as well. But that K Reno verse just hits it. It's nail on the head. We must unify soon because we're running out of time. It's like 4 minutes left in the fourth quarter, and we got 2 timeouts. We're down by 10 on our own 20. We need a touchdown, onside kick, recovery, and a touchdown. To use a football analogy. And has that happened? Yeah. Is it likely? No. Especially if the people playing on the kickoff team or playing on the losing team don't believe they could do it. But I'll tell you what I saw in Ferguson. People. I saw belief. I saw people that had enough and were going to stand their ground like Clive and Bundy. And I wish I could be there right now. I feel guilty every other minute. Financially, I can't do it. And with my mom's health, I can't do it. I wish I could be with Joe Biggs and Jakari on the front lines again, because those people are worth fighting for. They're more awake when it comes to the New World Order, to the military-industrial complex. I mean, I even learned some things out there. And I'm out here in Chicago, and you bring up New World Order, and I think it's Hulk Hogan and Kevin Nash. Yeah, the wrestlers. Yeah, that's the New World Order to them. You go to Ferguson, and they break down what's really going on. So that gave me so much hope, man. I mean, it's unbelievable that you could be 5 hours away, and you got a very lost group, which I'm working my butt off to wake people of Chicago up. I mean, think about it. We had never had a big terrorist attack. We'd never had a huge tragedy. For the most part, Chicago is one of the safest places in the country, not the world. With the abundance of fresh water, you can't get hit by tornadoes here, really. There's no tsunamis. I mean, earthquake. I mean, none of that. Yeah, and people just don't care. They just want to go to the bar, drink, watch the Bears, and not think about what's going on just 5 hours south of here. And to me, that's sad, because I used to be like that. I used to coach football, and I probably wouldn't even have heard of Ferguson if I was still coaching football. But God put me on this path. It started with Jesse Ventura petition, and God definitely helped me write the petition, which helped in any kind of intervention in Syria, and that was mainly the military guys, but they signed the petition I wrote. I'm not trying to take credit for it, but that woke me up to the fact that, hey, I could change something. And I'm going to tell you, I feel extremely good about what I did out there in Ferguson for the relations of the people. Whether it be Christian talking to a Muslim, a white talking to a black, whether it be a Hispanic person talking to myself, a white person. I broke the ice with them. I talked to everyone. I treated everybody the way I would want to be treated. And I was myself. And these people are great people. I could walk around Chicago, ask someone to do an interview, and get shot. We lose a person one day, at least like once a week here, from gang violence, but no one gives a crap. Why is that? Why is Chicago just degenerated to the point where we're accepting the annihilation of the black race due to gang activity? And why do the police let it happen? Why do the police ship the drugs in? Think about it. If we actually got good guys, and I know that's hard because people can be two-faced, but real people in office, ended the war on drugs, got a real president in, put the money back into infrastructure, put it back into roads, put it back into the people's pocket, not for some prostitute for Rob Blagojevich or Rahm Emanuel. And how about we own our actual toll booths that are $2 to every 2 miles? No, Spain does, Germany. How about we own our own parking meters? We don't. So, you got to think about it. We're getting raped here, and we don't even realize it because we don't care. And it's not like we even have good sports teams anymore, people. And you need to wake up and have the realization I did. Coaching, football is a good escape, but you're having an impact on kids, and that's why I did it, but you're not having much of an impact. on kids. You're really not. You're teaching them how to play a game at the end of the day. And the message I'm trying to stress in the segment of the truth is stranger than fiction is, jump in the game of life. There's nothing more fulfilling than go driving 6 hours to Ferguson, not knowing what to expect. Going meeting up with Joe Biggs and Jakari Jackson, meeting the guys at InfoWars, and getting ready to, because we thought pepper spray and all that, and it never happened. And then just getting to know the people was just so amazing. I mean, I know I keep saying that, but it's hard to believe that after everything done out there, all those strong people at Ferguson were able to stick together. And to be honest with you, live through this torture of every day not knowing when all hell's gonna break loose, and that's a bad feeling. And you don't know if you get up to tomorrow if your whole front lawn's gonna be filled with people and your windows burnt. You don't know. So the fear they're making live in is not fair. So we as a society, we as members of whatever state you're in, Illinois, Missouri, Texas, Alaska, I don't care. Start writing to your elected officials. Start, do something. You gotta do something. Do a petition. Get signatures. Basically, let's make the police end their militarization. Let's take away the tanks. Let's take away the Nazi uniforms and shields and this. And let's go back to classic police work. Because there's some great cops and detectives as well. Geniuses. But we're bringing in the Gestapo and the Ferguson people. Is that what we want to be remembered as? America, the Fourth Reich? Because that is my book title, and every day it's like God put it in my head for a reason. It gets truer and truer, just like this show title. Truth is stranger than fiction, I'll tell you that. But it's just, guys, we got to do something. I can't sit here and watch innocent people get treated like the way they did over there for no reason. I mean, you had cops driving like 100 miles an hour on 20-mile-per-hour speed limit, small road, and nothing was going on, and didn't for 2 days still. So they were kind of like when that lady drove up to the White House and they were all driving like maniacs. Yeah, well, that's, if you want a picture in your head, peace and quiet, nice country land, you pull up to a small town and you'll know you're there when you start seeing all sorts of different vehicles, police vehicles, moving at speeds between 80 and 100 miles an hour. Sometimes in the opposite traffic, and most of the time without their lights. And one protester that I saw, and I was out for quite a bit, was pro-police. 99% of other people think there needs to be change, and I agree. In today's society, we should all be equal. So, I mean, I don't think it should be 50-50 mandatory black and white firefighters, no. But only 30% in a predominantly African American or black neighborhood, that's not right. That's not right, because then what jobs are left in a little town like that? And then you got to think about the prison industry is taking away so many jobs, and skilled labor jobs at that too. So all of a sudden, it's the tension, because now the people of Ferguson can't find a job. And it's going to get worse as the businesses move out, and that's their plan. And Agenda 21, here we go. Goodbye, Illinois. you don't know what Agenda 21 is, I suggest you look it up because, oh yeah, it's came true. It's coming true. And people who live in Chicago won't be like myself. It's not much of a change, but they're designating a lot of land to be strictly government land. And the world will change as we know it. And I just hope it doesn't happen there in Ferguson. People, we need to call our representatives. We gotta do petitions. We gotta call loved ones that are near and tell them to bring their cameras and go. We need to go assist in journalists. But if I didn't have to take my mom for surgery, I'd be there. I see why Joe Biggs is so passionate about going back. Those people are worth fighting for. They really are. When you have people that believe in liberty, equality, freedom, and when they see a police state and they see the New World Order just taking over and destroying everything, they stand up and they stick up for themselves. And I'm not talking about the looters. Once again, the looters came from out of town trying to take advantage and make money off of tragedy. And to me, that's spitting on Mike Brown's grave. So the looters and the police are equally at fault. Who's lost in this mix? It's your small business owners, your middle class families, the people that have lived there for years and years. And what's also mixed is I want to know who the hell predicted that this was going to happen. Who in the Army did? I'd like to know what the law numbers are, because if you could do a drill 1 year prior to an event like this happening, you can't predict Mike Brown's going to get shot. No way. How did they know? Unless they were egging it on. And look for a gun, like I said, at 7-Eleven. It would make logic sense. It's logical to use your gun to rob 7-Eleven. It's not logical to run up to a cop with a gun. And I wasn't there. But from what I hear, story don't make sense. I mean, if you have a gun, you're going to probably rob the store, the gun. And the last thing you're probably going to want to do ever is run up to the cop with the gun and try to get into a gunfight. Who buys a blunt to smoke and get high to go on a suicide mission? Think about that. These are all things I pondered as I heard the story. Some thoughts radical and far out there, but sometimes you gotta do that. You gotta be like that detective Columbo. Mom, that's from you. She had me hooked on him when I was a kid, but it's the truth. If most people that smoke, they get calm, and they don't go run at cops with guns. They really don't. They usually run to the couch and play some video games. So this story don't add up, people. Don't demonize the kid's character. Don't. I'm not trying to demonize the cop that killed him, but I am gonna say there's plenty of methods you could have used of non-lethal force to stop that. I agree with the people of Ferguson when it comes to that. I did not hear any first-hand reports of any gunfights. Remember that? Gunfight? Why wasn't there any witnesses? Why did all the witnesses say he was shot at with his hands up? It's not like one person saw it and then everyone somehow knew he said it and repeated the same story to different reporters at the same time. Or in some cases less than 2 minutes off on separate parts of the block. So something don't smell right. Yeah, it really doesn't, people. I just please pray for Ferguson, Missouri, because they got all sorts of biological, chemical weapons teams in there. I saw so many, like, like I said, active. They looked active duty military. Me recently out of the service, and just the protesters were 51 roughly with the number Joe gave at pro Mike Brown protest, and the one I happened to run into of the one guy protesting that he still likes the cops. So why the hell do you need all that unless you're planning something? Why are they waiting for the weather to get better? Why didn't they do it whenever it was freezing when I was there? Why? They know they're gonna let them go. What are they trying to get them out of the state? And pretty much say it on Thanksgiving during the football game? Or are they gonna do it in the AMs when everyone's still sleeping after partying after Thanksgiving? Well, guess what? Pete Wichert don't drink, so he's going to be up. And if that's the case, I'm going to have to borrow some money from somebody, and I'm going to get my ass down there because I'm not letting those people get stomped on and pepper sprayed and shot with rubber bullets like Joe Biggs, a reporter, and the reporter's getting arrested. I'm not going to stand for that as an American citizen. The reason these people are getting away with it is because the lack of nerve that the reporters have. We have no balls besides Infowars.com. There's Fox, NBC, all you. You have no balls. Because it's this simple. You guys used to keep our elected officials in check. And then you decided money was more important. Mm-hmm. And you took bribes. And now our elected officials are trillionaires, billionaires in office, that the little pennies they threw you for little projects on the side to fix potholes and stuff like that. Yeah, okay. You really look at Chicago. We have thousands of projects going on at one time. And Rahm Emanuel spent how much money to get a job that only pays, what, $30,000? It's the same thing out there. And the only difference is out there, they're planning to do something, I think, like along the lines of a race war. Out here, the rumor's a nuke. And the hacker, Gucci, I'm not exactly sure how it's pronounced. Been trying to look up this guy. He's kind of hard to find information on him. I encourage anyone listening or who gets this in replace of the show tomorrow to email me at petewichert@att.net. That's Pete Wichert, WICHERT@att.net. And pretty much give me any information that you can on that particular subject, anything. But yeah, I mean, I had to come on air and I had to get this off my chest, because got a lot going on. Personally, I had an operation on my mouth one time there, but I mean, Danny, my audio tech guy, he's sick, so I wasn't even sure if I was able to go in. I'm still not sure about Danny's okay yet, but I couldn't even sleep last night because I had to get this off my chest. I tried doing a video off a new program and it didn't work, so I already did, in a sense, try to get it off my chest. And still not. I feel guilty for not being there. And I just hope everyone acts responsibly. It's like another Bundy Ranch type thing. Let's make the Nazi police force. That's what they are. That's what our police has turned into. And the Department of Homeland Security, who I seen there, let's make them look like the bad people. Because that's how you win the propaganda war. That's how you win the hearts and minds of the people. And I'm not saying this in a sinister way. We're just exposing the criminals for who they are. So, and to quote Jesus, if they slap you on one cheek, turn the other. But to add something, get your camera and record it. But I encourage anyone who's close to them, get up, go to Ferguson, uh, get a hotel room, and go there and stick up for the people. You know why? Because I believe in karma. And I'm a Christian. It might be called something else in Christianity, but good deeds tend to come back. And I've had such a peaceful feeling and such a feeling of I wish I could do more. But if you go down there, you may be able to prevent this. You single-handedly. It could be your camera that stops the next officer from shooting somebody. It could be your camera that stops one of the members of the media from getting, arrested again. So this is Pete Wichert, and again, I'm going to ask everybody to pray for my mom. It's nothing major. It's a catheter thing, but there's always side effects, and she's all I have left, so I'm nervous. And thank you for your thoughts and prayers and emails. And I wish I could have, answered some questions you guys had. They were great, but like I said, camera messed up. I witnessed a bad car wreck. I was within 2 feet from totaling my car at the best, and you could see my lip here. It would have been a lot worse. I actually think I might have actually even gotten concussed. So I probably shouldn't have came on here, but I just poured my heart out because the people of Ferguson need you. And if you were in their shoes, Chicago, Illinois, and we were locked down for some crap, I would hope that people from other states would come. I would hope our brothers and sisters from Wisconsin would come. I would hope our brothers and sisters from Indiana would come. And I'm hoping the same thing happens in Ferguson, because we owe them that, people. I'm telling you right now, the police are out of control, and if we don't stop it soon, you're next. The truth is stranger than fiction, and I'm Pete Wichert, and thank you for all your support. And I'm going to be probably doing another show when I get back from picking up my mom tomorrow. So I'll see you tomorrow, or maybe even later. If there's any breaking news, email me your questions at petewichert@att.net. If you'd like to see my Ferguson footage, you could go to YouTube and type Pete Wichert, and you'll find my page. It's got most of the footage. I'm about to put a few more things up actually as soon as I sign off here. And thank you again for all your support. And wow, I'd like to thank Joe Biggs and Jakari again. You guys are awesome, man. It was cool meeting you guys. I mean, I'm telling you, they are hardworking, and just like seeing them on TV, man. Always on it, always working, always thinking. Great people to go to battle with, man. And I'm praying for you, Joe Biggs. I'm praying for you, Jakari. And I'm praying for everyone in Ferguson. God bless you. And may the people with righteousness come out on top.